Hey there. Today I want to share with you a sneak peek at the United Bible Society's Greek New Testament 6th edition. This sneak peek comes from a presentation Dr. Florian Voss gave at the Accordance e-Academy webinar conference yesterday. I've included a link to a recording of the webinar in the description, which I highly recommend you take a look at. It's about an hour and 10 minutes. So, here is the UBS we know and love. This is an image of the UBS 4th edition. At the top, we have the Greek text. Below that, the text critical apparatus. Below that again, the punctuation apparatus. And finally at the bottom, the cross-references. In general, I've found these all to be pretty useful. Whether the text critical apparatus and trying to find out what different church fathers spoke on different readings, or the punctuation apparatus and trying to determine, has my translation chosen an arbitrary punctuation? For example, in Ephesians 1, 4 and 5, are we holy and blameless before him in love? Stop. Or are we holy and blameless before him? Stop. In love, he predestined us. Cross-references I've never found terribly useful, but I'm sure someone else has. Here's a photo of my UBS 5th edition. As you can see, not much has changed. There are different translations used in the punctuation apparatus. You even have translations appearing in the textual apparatus. But by and large, unless you're dealing with the Catholic epistles, it's more or less the same. Now, the screenshot I'm about to show you is from Dr. Voss's slide deck, and I must stress that this is a draft of a page from the UBS 6 edition. It is by no means the final printed product. The font will change in the printed product. It's merely to give you an idea of where the committee are heading with the UBS 6 edition. First thing you'll notice is the greatly reduced apparatus. The textual apparatus is much smaller and focusing on less variants, which are more suited to perhaps translation. The punctuation apparatus is gone. The cross-references, they're gone too. According to Dr. Voss, these were used rarely. And on top of that, you can find most of this information online. There are plenty of sites where you can compare Bible translations if you wish to see how different Bible translations punctuate verses. There is a great website called Step Bible where you can view the witnesses for each textual variant sort of up close and perhaps with more information than the Nestle Aland text. The apparatus itself, and in particular the textual apparatus, is being geared more to the needs of the translator. You'll see that there are fewer church fathers referenced. One of the problems is that for a particular reading, students or translators might look at it and say, aha, look at this list of witnesses. That means that the strength of this variant selection is much stronger. When that's not necessarily the case. Text criticism does not work that way, at least in the methodology of the United Bible Societies and the Nestle Aland Greek texts. In addition, the textual apparatus will pay more attention to the textus receptus. The textus receptus is still used today in many Bible translations around the world. In addition, the lectionary will only appear if it differs from the Byzantine text. Another big change is the placing of the Catholic epistles after the Book of Acts, something which will also be in the Nestle Aland 29. This follows many early Greek manuscripts we have of the New Testament for the canonical word order. Not all, but many. But it's also a change which will remind you of another printed Greek New Testament, the Tyndale House Greek New Testament, of which you can see a page from here. I find it fascinating that Tyndale House's Greek New Testament is a trendsetter for design and layout. Its focus on just showing you the Greek text with a minimal apparatus is something United Bible Societies have sought to implement in their own printed Greek New Testament. Now, of course, these two Greek New Testaments use different methodologies for determining the text. The Tyndale House Greek New Testament focuses on the earliest manuscripts we have in existence, whereas the UBS and Nestle Island Greek New Testament use a methodology such as the coherence-based genealogical method to determine what the earliest possible reading is, which is the source reading which the others descend from. On that, the Editio Critica Major will be completed for the Book of Acts and the Gospel of Mark in time for the UBS6 to be published. I think that's great. One of the reasons for me to perhaps buy the United Bible Society 6th edition will be to view these readings and then compare them to my UBS 3, 4, and 5. I highly recommend you go out and buy a UBS5 now. Now, Dr. Voss hinted that they may still continue to publish the UBS 5th edition, and I think that would be a very sensible thing to do. But you must remember they will only publish where there is demand. And I imagine demand will taper off as time goes on and more students get used to the UBS6. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think the United Bible Societies are taking the right path? Is the UBS 6th edition something you'll want to buy? Let me know down below. I'll see you later.